Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis. And I'm Tavis. Today is a very special, awesome, auspicious day because I'm going to take some time to celebrate a very wonderful woman. Her name is Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. No, her name is Janet Jackson, the youngest sibling of the Jackson family. 35 years ago, she released an album that was groundbreaking when she came together with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. There was a new sound happening in music. The beats were fresh and the synthesizers were hard and rough, and rap was really in the game at the time. But here comes this fantastic album that I remember. I think I was 14 years old when it came out. And I remember when I was sitting in the car with my uncle. And at the time, he was buying lots of cassettes. And he bought Janet Jackson's Control cassette. And when it first started, you hear her talk about, this is a story about control. And I've got lots of it. You know, she goes through this whole narration, and you hear that beat. I mean, it's just, to this day, it is still as funky as ever. And then when she did the song, Give Me a Beat, it was hard. It was hardcore. And, you know, at the time, we were used to hearing ladies sing very soft, melodious songs. And so music was really changing, and Janet Jackson was a part of that change. And when she hooked up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, things were just never the same musically. We can say that with a lot of artists. We can say that with a lot of collaborations, but this was definitely one of those collaborations that to this day we marvel at and we are excited because it is the soundtrack of our lives. And with this being Black History Month, it's even more prominent for me and for all of us who celebrate and acknowledge Black History Month and all of the fantastic people who have contributed their souls to the spirit of music or whatever it may be to make the world a better place. And so I'm going to share my Janet Jackson albums with you, and then we're going to find that one that was groundbreaking. So I had these albums displayed around my classroom today with my kids, and every class somebody would mention, who is that lady? And I said, she's Janet Jackson. Don't you know who she is? And no one knew. I think a few people did. But when I'd say, who knows Michael Jackson? Everyone's hand would go up. And I said, well, this is Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister. They were like, what? Oh, she does kind of look like Michael Jackson a little bit, doesn't she? I said, yeah, that's his youngest sibling, Janet. So this is the latest album that I've purchased of hers. I don't have her whole discography, but this is the #1's double LP set. It's red, and I'm not as happy with it as I could be because it doesn't have all of the music that was originally released in 2010. This was originally released in 2010 on CD, and it doesn't have all the songs or the tracks from that original release, but I'm still happy with it. And then I think it was last year, early last year, she just released most of her albums again, it seems. I got this. This is the Control remixes from 2019. It's just black vinyl. but it has many of the songs from her Control album, and they're just remixed, and it sounds marvelous. So this is also, I think this is on Spotify, but it was the first time being released on vinyl, so I'm glad to have that. And then when she came out with this album, which was like a long time coming, we were so happy to know that she was releasing this album called Unbreakable in 2015. She was also doing a tour with this album, and I had bought the CD, and I had bought a t-shirt and the tickets to see her in concert at that time, but she canceled at the last minute. I think she was pregnant at the time. I could be wrong, but the CD, to me, it was just phenomenal. So when I saw it on vinyl later in the latter part of, maybe the early part of last year, I was so happy to own it. I think I have a video. Oh, I do have a video talking about me getting these records. But yeah, this was a fantastic record as well. She teamed back up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Has that same soulful vibe that only Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis can deliver. And of course, we all remember All For You. Now, this came out in 2001. A very sexy album. A very beautiful inside cover. This is a double LP set as well. I mean, I need to have this as a poster right here. And don't you just love this? Oh, look at that. Oh, Janet, what are you doing to us? Oh my Lord. So beautiful. But that video, All For You, you really need it, which is a sample from the group Change. I think it's The Glow of Love, but yeah, that's that sample on All For You. Beautiful album as well, 2001. Now let's go back to 1993 when she released Janet. And of course, you know, you have that wonderful cover right there. You know, I wish that her head was right here because it was just a beautiful, very sexy photo, if you will. So she went all out with this. That's the way love goes. That's the way love goes. We know that's the way love goes. From 1993. Then in 1989, a year right before I graduated high school, when she came out with Rhythm Nation. Jesus, Lord have mercy, what an album. I mean, when she teamed up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, things were never the same again. I mean, it was meant to be. It was so meant to be. Rhythm Nation. We have State of the World. We have Miss You Much. I Miss You Much. And All Right. And Escapade. And Come Back to Me. Babe, won't you please? Oh, this takes me right on back. But this right here. Hey girl, he stood me up again. Yeah, I mean, that particular narration before you go into what have you done for me lately. Oh my God. Just a phenomenal album. Now, I have 2 copies of this. Now, this is in the classroom. And I kept the wrap on it because it seems like to me that this is a reissue. To me, it seems like the reissue doesn't sound as good as the original, which can be the case many times. So I have this in the classroom. It doesn't have the brilliance or the treble as much as the original. So this is a very good copy, and I keep this at my house. But I brought it because I want to show you that I do have 2 copies of this because I just find it to be fascinating. Every song on here is the bomb. Of course, The Pleasure Principle, to see her dance, When I Think of You. Now listen, I have shown When I Think of You to my class when we talk about music videos and Black History Month, or just if we just want to take a little brain break, I'll show them music videos and they'll tell me who their favorite artists are, and I'll share that I love Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson and blah, blah, blah. And I'll play When I Think of You, and it's such a colorful video, and the kids just enjoy watching it, and they enjoy the song. And it's just a very fun, catchy song, beautiful made video. Janet's dancing, she has all that beautiful makeup on, and her hair is big, and it's just a very cool video to watch. Lots of dancing, and we just want to celebrate you, Janet. We thank you for stepping out and taking control. And I think you were in your 20s, maybe 21, 22. What an album this is. And it still remains in my, if I had a top 10, have I ever done a top 10 album review or a top 10 of my favorite albums? I don't know if I have. If I did, and that's not on here, I made a mistake. Then I couldn't do it. It would have to be my top 11. One of my favorite albums of all time. I can listen to it every day, all day, and not get tired of it. So, Janet, 35 years, in 1986, February 4th, she released this record. And Janet, we could not be more proud of you, and we could not be more proud of the fantastic production team, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, all the musicians you've worked with. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And I'm sure I speak for many people when I say this is a definite soundtrack of our lives from the 80s, and we love you for it. And I just wanted to take the time out to say that to you. And as I leave you, I want to say again, as always, with music, which is the soundtrack of our lives, be inspired and stay inspired.